Lucky last, Bryn presented this project to the quality reps at our meeting last month, and as I mentioned at the start, they were so impressed with the story they wanted him to come and tell you all the story as well. So thanks, Bryn, for finishing off our presentations this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Bryn. I'm an exercise physiologist working over in spinal rehab at the REPAT campus. Excellent start. I've heard all about the REPAT, so so I work at the Talbot, I think. So over there I'm sort of informally known as the weights guy, but an equally important part of my role, or perhaps even more important, is the teaching of wheelchair skills. So teaching people how to use their wheelchairs safely and effectively. So I'm here to talk today about my project, establishing a formal training program for peer wheelchair skills coaches. So jumping back a little bit, a recap of a project that was completed in 2015 by our then inpatient EP. And this, for the first time, looked at incorporating peers into the wheelchair skills coaching program. So 3 peers were recruited from our peer support program, and they came along to sessions and they actually drove the teaching of wheelchair skills with the EP there, basically helping with guidance as needed, but also just providing the physical assistance and ensuring that everything was done safely. And this had some really positive outcomes. So patients reporting things like increased confidence after seeing a full-time wheelchair user, hopefully normally with a similar injury level to them. So increased confidence seeing them perform some of the skills that they'd had trouble with previously. And also a really strong sense that they preferred seeing it done by someone in a wheelchair as opposed to a therapist. So, and other things, just a couple of comments about a reduced worry about being in a wheelchair long term after that. So the problem we had before starting this course, well, it feels like a long time ago now, probably in 2016 we started, was that we had a small pool of peer coaches, and they're all very busy, productive people, so they're not always available as much as we would like them to be. So we were looking to expand our current pool of peer coaches to improve session frequency and also to establish a formal training and assessment process. So that was designed to ensure that we have ongoing quality and consistency of coaching moving forwards. So the measures, the obvious one, session frequency. So over the 18 months before this course, before the commencement of this project, we had about 20 sessions run. So roughly 1 session per month, which is not as much as we would like. And the other thing we provided to our new course participants was a pre and post-course survey. So that was about 8 key points that dealt with the theoretical concepts underpinning wheelchair skills coaching or any sort of coaching. And we tested that pre and post to see if what we taught in our course actually stuck and if we taught the things we wanted to teach. They were also provided with the opportunity to complete a course evaluation, so qualitative feedback that we will use in future to refine the course, so anything they felt could be improved or could be delivered better. So the change, we recruited 3 new coaches from our peer support program at the Talbot, and they were provided with a pre-reading package, which I'll talk about a bit more later, but I think we brought this up in the other quality meeting, and it's quite funny in hindsight. So we gave them a pre-reading package, and that's a collation of existing wheelchair skills courses. So things like online wheelchair skills manuals, YouTube channel, and for anyone who's done their teaching on the Run course through Austin, there was some of that information there as well to help them with their teaching. And the main focus that we discussed throughout was not teaching them how to do wheelchair skills, they're full-time experts in doing that. It was teaching them how to best impart that knowledge on other people, so how they could actually teach that. So the course structure, originally this was designed as a 2 half-day course, but the challenge of getting everybody in place on the same day was hard enough for 1 day rather than 2. So we had to condense that to 1 day, but I'm glad we did because it actually worked better. So that consisted of a theory presentation, which was designed to be a recap of the pre-reading module. I think given that nobody read the pre-reading module, it was recap's probably not the right word. So it was all new information for most people. One of our existing peer coaches, who's excellent, he actually designed and presented a communication active listening component, which we felt was important when coaching and teaching people. We split into groups and went through a section on skills teaching, both indoor and outdoor mobility. And the main focus of that was, again, not how to do the skill itself, but how you can explain demonstrate and provide feedback to enhance learning. And then designed a competency assessment. So the coaches were required to teach some basic skills to 3 of our inpatients who volunteered their time. And we came up with a competency assessment, so 9 key criteria that seemed important to assess, and that was in terms of explanation, demonstration, feedback, and some safety components as well. And just an important note that our existing peers actually helped us assess that as well, so it wasn't just the therapist doing that part. So the result since the course, which this was in November 2017, we've increased our session frequency from 1 to 3 sessions a month, largely due to more peers being available and having more availability to come in. So the coaches reported that their perceived knowledge and confidence, that survey I mentioned earlier, had improved pre-course to post-course, which was great because it meant that what we were trying to teach people, that was reflected in those results. So the things we were trying to teach, we actually did. The next steps, adopt and spread. So we're looking to refine this course based on the feedback we received. There's a couple of things, namely the pre-reading. So to be condensed from sort of a War and Peace 14 pages sort of setup into something a little bit more doable. Part of the issue was that was distributed quite late because we weren't able to get everyone's in the same spot. So we ended up distributing that 3 weeks before the course, which wasn't enough time for busy people. And I think there's a potential quality project following up with power wheelchair skills. I think every therapist at the Talbot probably has some near miss or horror story for someone in a power wheelchair. So looking to potentially improve that project as well as see if there is any room for peers to be involved in that. I think there will be. So I've submitted a poster abstract to ISCOS, so the International Spinal Cord Society. Their conference is being held in Sydney in September, so I'll be presenting a poster there, and myself and Mel will be presenting at the pre-course workshop as well. Insights, so the top one I've already covered. Who knew? So it's easy to get off track with this. I found it easy to get off track with this sort of project. So the PDSA template as well as regular meetings. So I got help from Mark McDonald, Sana and Mel Cotts on this one, as well as our peer support manager Sal Deemer, and the peers came into team meetings along the way as well. On that theme of co-design, our existing coaches actually contributed really strongly to the design and delivery of the course, so they were excellent. I'm glad we had them involved. And the project has improved my own skills as a wheelchair coach. So going over some of that, first year undergrad motor learning technique, how to deliver feedback effectively has helped me refine the way I deliver those things, as well as looking through all the resources that are available online. Thank you.
Thanks, Bryn. I'm really excited to hear almost everyone's talked about, now we finish this project, we're going to do the next thing that's come from this, and I think that's really exciting that we're not just, oh, thank goodness that's done, let's take our foot off the gas and cruise for a bit. And that's really what living in an innovative culture is about, that you learn the skills and practice them, and then you find the next thing to attack, and that's really exciting for me. And hopefully over time we're all going to build better and better skills, and then we'll be able to tackle even bigger problems, and who knows, maybe we'll change the world. Now,